got a serious question. Where is the backup? Like, seriously, where is it at? I know that there was no scheduled aid, there was no planned support for this super secret invasion squad that was going for the Spade Kingdom because it was a super secret invasion squad, but like, is nobody in any of the surrounding kingdoms feeling what's going on right now? You can't tell me that they're not. The magical pressure and the energy that this dude is exuding just off of his presence alone should be alerting damn near everybody on the continent. Mars, where are you, dude? Get off of your girlfriend for 2 seconds and come help. We dying out here. Players falling off, dog. Actually, nobody's died yet, but it looks like that could change very soon. But before we get to that, because that's at the very end of the chapter, let's start at the beginning of this whole thing. And we start this chapter off with Seke. Yeah, this is kind of just like a Seke chapter. And I'm not actually mad that it is a Seke chapter, because the stuff that we got in here is actually pretty good. We get to see this whole situation from the perspective of a bystander. And as a bystander, he is feeling that overwhelming helplessness, and he's wondering where in his life he went wrong to end up in a situation like this. Well, bro, you have nobody to blame but yourself. I'm sorry to tell you. All that lying, it caught up with you. Like, you want to blame the king, but no. No. You could have told him that what was going on was not because of you. He thinks that you're super strong, that you're like the secret weapon, but you're not. And now because of your actions, you stand in the face of death. The king of monsters, as you call him. The one that took out all of the captains. I do like the fact, though, that even though he's feeling overwhelming helplessness, he is gifted a slight glimmer of hope, or maybe not a slight glimmer of hope, but he's gifted the presence of Yuno, okay? And he's in awe. And I mean, to be fair, who wouldn't be? Look at this dude. He is standing in front of Lucifero, and he's smiling. He's smiling. Yuno, do you have a couple screws loose? I know you witnessed what he did to the other captains. Or are you just that confident? Yeah, he's just that confident, I think. He's confident in himself because of what he did to Zenon. But Yuno soon finds out that Zenon and his current opponent are night and day, essentially. Because after Lucifero witnesses Yuno standing up in defiance in front of him, he goes in for an attack. He doesn't talk about Yuno at all, though. His mind is still solely focused on Asta because of the whole cutting the horn thing. But like I was saying, Lucifero goes in for an attack. He goes in for a pimp slap, I think. But just before the hit can land, Yuno does some teleportation magic. He powers up and he slashes at Lucifero, but the slash does absolutely nothing. He can't even like make a dent with the sword. It's not cutting, it's not slicing, it's not giving at all. He might as well have just had a bamboo stick and hit it against a brick wall. And Yuno is completely caught off guard by this. He did not expect that result at all, and Lucifero explains why that result is the way that it is for him, and he says that the answer is pretty simple. It's pure and simple. The difference in their magic power is overwhelming. It's too great. Right at that moment, though, as Lucifero is talking that talk, Maria Leona shows up. She's not down for the count, and she comes in with an immediate fire blast. Maria Leona is just built different. She's the literal definition of being built different. You cannot stop her. Also, with her essentially being the last captain standing, does this confirm that she is stronger than everyone else that was fighting with her at that time? Or does this just mean that she is the most endurance and the strongest will? Anyways, though, after she delivers the fire blast, she then comments at Yuno, saying that she's glad that he's finally made it to the battlefield, and then the two of them rush at Lucifero together, talking about, let's do this, let's go. And then we get an epic shot of the two of them in a singular panel working together. And I never thought I'd see the day where this would actually happen. It never even crossed my mind that I wanted this to happen, but now that I'm seeing it in motion, in picture, it's not in motion, it's just a picture, but now that I'm seeing it in this picture, bro, I'm so glad that I am seeing it. And they are going at it with a Lucifero, bro, I assume, because, you know, we don't really get any more of that this chapter. It kind of just cuts to an explosion, and then we focus on something else. The chapter then decides that it's time to focus back up on Seke, so we cut back to him and we see that he has joined Mimosa and Asta. And after ogling at Yuno some more, he then turns his attention to Mimosa and he tries to convince her that they should dip. They should dip on the chip, get the hell out of there. Oh, and take Asta too. But Mimosa, she ain't hearing that. She's going full blast with the healing. She's turning it up. She's trying to heal Asta. She's doing her best. And Seke, he is just nothing but in her ear right now, so she tells him to shut up. Thank you, Mimosa. I've been waiting for somebody to tell this dude to shut up again. Here's the thing though. Well, I'm glad that she told him to shut up. I don't think she was exclusively telling that to him. I think she was also saying that to herself, because she reveals on the next page that she wishes that she could flee with Asta right now, but she knows that isn't what he wants. So she's telling herself shut up as well to deny those thoughts and get them out of her head so that she can focus up on what she needs to do for the sake of him, which is really cool. Seke, after experiencing all that, then has a flashback to simpler times of his hometown when he was on top and when he thought life was great. And since he was on top in his hometown, everyone viewed him in a different light. They thought he was spectacular, and he looked at them in a different light too. He thought they were kind of trash. But then his whole life was flipped on its head when he met Asta. Not just because of the whole embarrassment thing, but because Asta had those words going. And when Asta gets to talking, that gets a little bit of change going. The flashback then ends, and coincidentally, as the flashback ends, so does, Mimosa's magic. Yeah, she's all out, which means that Asta's recovery is at an end. He can no longer be healed by her. But just as soon as the spell ends, and Mimosa comes to the realization of the situation, Asta gets up, and he tells Mimosa thank you. And so beat to hell, with blood dripping, and sword dragging on the ground, Asta starts walking. He starts heading back to the battle. Mimosa screams at him, telling him that he's in no condition to fight. But her words, her warning, falls on deaf ears. Asta is in focus mode. Much like Lucifero, he has one thing on his mind. And Mimosa takes note of this. She realizes that her words, her voice, can no longer reach him. Right now, the thing that's driving Asta is bigger than anything that she could say. But she does say one more thing. She says, please don't die. Seke then proceeds to jump in and say something to Asta, and bro, if you thought he was in awe at Yuno before, if you thought his jaw was at the floor, that thing at the Earth's core. Now, I didn't even mean to rhyme all that, bro, but, you know, off the dome. But to get back to it, Seke starts yelling at Asta because he doesn't understand this drive, this insanity at all. He says, you're still a wreck. What do you think you're gonna do out there? Not even all the captains together were a match for him, and you think you're gonna do something to beat that? What's the point of you going over there? You're a peasant with no magic whatsoever, and yet somehow you... And that is when the change hits him. That's when the realization hits him, is that he's been spending his life acting like this entire world is still his hometown. And right now, he realizes that he's just been wasting time. He didn't even try to get stronger. We then see Asta still charging forward and looking upon one man. And that man is Yuno. And he utters to himself that he's on the way. I said that Yuno was the real MC in my previous Black Clover video, and I gotta be honest, bro. I gotta be honest. While I like Yuno more than Asta, I don't think I can ever make that claim again. Not after seeing a moment like this. This is true shonen MC at its finest, at its peak. When you're down and out, when you're clobbered to hell, when it looks like all hope is lost, when you can barely stand, when you can barely move, you still choose to get up and keep fighting. And to be fair, Yuno has had moments like that before. He had one against Zenon, but never was it to this extent. And there isn't gonna be another power-up for Asta like there was for Yuno. This is kinda it, I feel. This is the last hurrah. This is all or nothing. This is do or die. And I feel like in the coming chapters, we're gonna see Asta do, and probably die, bro. But anyways, with us being at the end of the chapter, that's gonna do it for this video. So thank you all very much for watching. I hope that you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody!